A catastrophic wildfire changed the landscape of Malden forever. I'm live in Malden with the mayor coming up.
Malden, we remember you. We are going to keep on remembering you.
Two small towns rebuilding from the ground up. How a new law is making aid for local disasters equal now.
We have a ridge of high pressure building over the northwest. I'm going to let you know why that brings back some high temperatures and, unfortunately, the return of smoke.
The welcome back sign here behind me is rolling for students. They're showing up at 7 this morning, and in a few minutes I'll explain exactly what back to school will look like for Coeur d'Alene Public Schools.
Up with KREM begins now with Tim Pham, Channing Curtis, and Jeremy Legoo.
On this day last year, wildfires sparked across our region. More than 500,000 acres burned in Washington in just 36 hours. The resulting smoke temporarily gave Western Washington the worst air quality in the world. One of those wildfires, now known as the Babb Road Fire, destroyed two towns in our community, Malden and Pine City. Today, only a few homes are left standing as the community still tries to rebuild. Well, good morning and thank you so much for joining us for this special edition of Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis. Our Scorched Earth series continues today in Malden, where a wildfire destroyed more than 200 homes and businesses 1 year ago today. So this morning we have team coverage all across the inland northwest. Tim Pham is live in Malden. Our Jeremy Legoo is in the Outdoor Weather Center because our forecast thankfully looks very different this morning compared to this day last year. And Nicole Hernandez is live in Coeur d'Alene, where one of the largest school districts in our area is welcoming back students today. Now first we want to check in with Tim, who is out in Malden for the very latest on recovery efforts after that wildfire. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Channing. Yeah, we are live in Malden this morning, taking a look at what's happened in the last 12 months and what's ahead. You know, this town was leveled by the wildfire that tore through this community. One of the most prominent spots that we showed you last year that got destroyed was the post office. This is the post office that was destroyed last year. You can see the bricks still in place where that post office once stood on this corner right when you turn into town. Absolutely devastating to see what happened here. Obviously, it wasn't just businesses, but it was also people's homes and livelihood all destroyed here in Malden. There's still a lot of work ahead here as the community works to rebuild. More than 80% of all of the buildings in Malden and Pine City were destroyed in the fire. This fire was called the Babb Road Fire. It forced nearly 200 Malden and Pine City residents to evacuate. The good news, no one was killed. 223 homes, businesses, barns, and other structures were destroyed. The fire actually started when a tree hit a live power line owned by Avista, and it was all knocked down by high northerly winds that fanned into flames. Now, in July and August of last year, there was a little bit of optimism from fire officials because it was a little bit cooler last July and August, and we didn't see as many fires as we have in years past. And so they were a little bit cautiously optimistic. That's what Hillary Franz told me, the Commissioner of Public Lands. I had the chance to talk to her one-on-one, and she told me what it was like to, be at the helm of Washington's fire response last year and through this year as wildfires continue. She tells me that last year in Malden, there were only 8 volunteer firefighters in the community, and 5 of them were already responding to other fires burning in the state because it was getting so bad on Labor Day. Now, Fran says she will never forget what she saw while touring Malden not long after the fire.
That tragedy is one that will live with me and is frankly it's what the warning we've been trying to tell the rest of the state for a very long time, that we have communities that are sitting with very, very high wildfire risks with limited resources in the air and limited resources on the ground.
Wildfires are something that no one ever expects to reach their front doorstep, but that is the case for many Washingtonians. France tells me right now there are 2 million homes in the state that are considered in wildfire risk. And after touring the town of Malden, she looked to her team and said that she can do better. They can do better as a team for the people of Malden and the entire state. So in the last year, Franz worked to get the town a brand new fire truck, speed up FEMA response and funding to the local fire department.
Malden, we remember you. We are going to keep on remembering you. We're going to do everything to help you rebuild and stay safe in the years to come. And we're going to make sure that we're doing everything possible to prevent no more Maldens in the state of Washington.
So in April of this year, the state unanimously passed a bill to create a dedicated fund to prevent and fight wildfires in Washington. House Bill 1168 provides $125 million every 2 years to boost wildfire response, speed up forest restoration, and support community resilience. So France tells me that this year it's even been worse. In fact, she described this year's wildfire season as horrific. She tells me that already in 2021, 640,000 acres have burned and already 1,700 wildfires have sparked this year. 90% of them are human caused, and she says they are preventable. And, again, as she said, she doesn't want there to be another Malden. Don't want to make Malden a verb, but yeah, that's the way she described it. We never want to see a community destroyed like this town was, especially when you think about how much Malden had to deal with in trying to get and secure FEMA funding. 5 months after the fire destroyed Malden and Pine City, FEMA finally approved Washington Governor Jay Inslee's request for public assistance in Whitman County, along with 9 other counties and 2 tribes. However, a few days later, the request was canceled. FEMA said the Babb Road fire impact was not severe enough to warrant individual assistance. They also said individual assistance is only made available when the damage is so severe and widespread that the state and local agencies cannot meet residents' needs. But now, with the Malden Act, FEMA is required to work with local emergency managers to develop a recovery team. Plus, if aid is denied, FEMA will make disaster caseworkers available to help communities find assistance. So on Monday, the community gathered here in Malden and celebrated and remembered all that they have accomplished in rebuilding the town over the last 12 months. Malden Mayor Dan Harwood expressed his relief no one was injured during the fire.
It was a devastating time, but there was no loss of life, which is a miracle. Now is your time to tell others your story, and we will listen.
Since the Babb Road fire, Malden received 2 donated fire trucks, and so far 7 homes have been rebuilt. The Pine Creek Community Restoration Group says work on additional homes is expected to pick up this fall. And coming up in our next half hour, we are going to be hearing from Mayor Dan Harwood live here on Up with KREM to talk about what's next for the community as this community works to rebuild and get this community back to what it used to be. Obviously, they will never forget what happened here in Malden, but they are looking to the future to move life forward. So even 1 year later, the rebuilding process obviously still continuing, and it will take many, many more months and even years in some cases to rebuild some homes. But what's been really great is to see the hope and the support of people willing to make a difference, even from states away.
I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. I was so blessed.
So this is just so wonderful. We love this story. We met a woman this week who says she received a call from a Mennonite group in Montana asking to build her a new home. She's one of 2 people they built new homes for. 6 months later, she had a new place to call her own.
It's home. It's the people. It's not, I don't think it's very much, the land and everything. It's the people that, we're all together.
Well, she says she hopes to see more of her neighbors return to new homes in Malden in the coming months. Yeah, you know, it's just really hard, obviously, to see the devastation here 1 year later even. Obviously, it looks much better than it did 12 months ago. But, you know, it's hearing the hope and the optimism of the people who live here and just how really they're leaning on each other. And as you heard that woman say, you know, this is home to them. It could be so easy, obviously, to just pick up and move to a different community or a different neighborhood. But this, again, it's the people that make Malden what it is and why people call this place home. And so again, coming up in our next half hour, we are going to be hearing from Mayor Dan Harwood to talk about what he plans to do to make this feel like home again for the people who live here. In the meantime, you can text the word FIRE to 509-448-2000. We will send you updates on the recovery efforts here in Malden. Reporting live in Malden, I'm Tim Pham. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Tim. Now, our live coverage in Malden will continue all morning long on Up with KREM. But let's go ahead and switch gears to the weather, because today we're expecting smoke to return to the inland Northwest. Let's take a live look outside at Coeur d'Alene right now. The sun's starting to come up. It looks like a gorgeous sunset outside today. But what will the rest of the week have in store for us? Our Jeremy Legoo is in the Outdoor Weather Center with the latest. What can you tell us, Jeremy?
Did you see that? Channing,
stunning.
Wow. Yeah, that is spectacular. Great word for it. Absolutely incredible sunrise early on this morning. What a beautiful start to the day. It is a bit cool out there, and as a lot of kids take to school for the first day, it's a bit chilly up in Sandpoint, 43, Coeur d'Alene 53, 56 here in Spokane, and 52 in Moses Lake. But as Channing mentioned, we are going to be watching our air quality throughout the day today. Right now it sits in the moderate zone. All around us though, you head over to Coeur d'Alene, you're in good. You head over to Moses Lake, you're good. Up toward Meade, you're good. So good news, but unfortunately we are going to watch air quality decrease across much of the region later on today as we get smoke that kind of moves in. It's a combination of a ridge of high pressure and southerly flow bringing us more smoke that sticks around until it eventually starts to blow out later in the day tomorrow. But for now, just know we're headed into a hot, hazy couple of days. Right now, not much going on in terms of radar. We've got dry conditions and warm conditions expected. We go from near 50 this morning for our cold spot all the way up to near 90 degrees later on this afternoon. I think we top out at about 88. It's a combination of some of that smoky haze and the time of year that keeps us from hitting 90.
Well, happy back to school to students in Moses Lake, Meade, Coeur d'Alene, and Post Falls. We hope you have a fantastic year. Our Nicole Hernandez is live in North Idaho this morning, welcoming some students back.
Yeah, that's right. I'm live at Coeur d'Alene High School, where students will be coming back for a much more normal first day of school, which they're very excited about. So I will be keeping tabs on when they show up, and I'll make sure to let you guys know.